that he's in for his life. And if you're here tonight, you may not be battling cancer, you may not be battling leukemia, but my guess is you've got battles, you've got struggles, you've got things in your life that you're pushing against. He arrives at this place called Macedonia, and he says this. He says, when we arrived in Macedonia, there was no rest for us. We faced conflict from every direction, with battles on the outside and fear on the inside. But God, who encourages those who are discouraged, encouraged us. And I started thinking of this idea. These guys, they get to this place, and it's like there's no rest for us. And it's kind of epidemic in our culture that we don't rest, we can't sleep. And I think it's usually a combination of either battles from without or fears within. We have things in our life that come against us, and like I said, and we're trying to help Joe and to go and face this battle he has of leukemia. But for you, it could be your marriage, it could be your career, it could be your kids, it could be whatever it is in your life that actually you're battling against. And they're on the outside, right? They're these battles without. And I really think that the key thing that we have to bring in our life and focus on when we have these battles outside of ourselves is hope. We talked about granting this wish, and Alex talked about, right, when his family got to go to Disney World, that this idea of leading up into going to this trip, right? They have this battle they're facing as a family, but this hope they have that they're looking to something in the future they're going to move into. Gave them the momentum they could. We've talked to many Make-A-Wish kids that talk about that it actually, that the caregivers have an easier time helping these kids run and get through their treatment when there's a wish that's out there in the future for them to walk into. So if you have these battles from without, what's the thing you're hoping for? What's the thing outside of yourself that's driving you? And then this next thought, right? He says, not only do they have battles from without, but they have these fears within. And if there's one thing that probably hinders you the most from becoming the person you were created to be in every relationship and thing you find yourself in, it's probably fear. And a lot of times we cover it up with this, that, and the other thing, but for us men, right, this idea that, man, am I going to be strong enough, smart enough, work hard enough, creative enough, whatever it is, that I'm not going to fail at the thing I'm doing, right? And it's these fears in us that keep us from moving forward. For ladies, it's, you know what, am I going to be smart enough? Am I going to be pretty enough? Am I going to be resourceful enough? I'm going to do the things I need to do to be seen by the world around me. Or are people going to find out that I'm a fraud? Or at least I feel like one. And there's these fears that we have within us that keep us paralyzed. And I tell you what, that's a pretty crazy, difficult stew sometimes. These battles from outside, these fears from within. What I found in my own life is one of the ways I've been able to face the actual fears that try to steal my joy or steal my momentum or rob me of hope. The thing that I've found that helps me face these fears is faith. Faith in something outside of myself, something outside of my circumstances, something transcendent. Now for me personally, that leads us into the third thing, right? Because there's hope and there's faith, but the greatest of these is this other word called love. And for me, what I found is when I've got battles from without and I've got fears from within, if I can walk in a place of hope and I can have a faith in something greater than myself that's actually founded in the source of love of the entire universe that I have found in a man actually named Jesus Christ, for me,